So yes, so that's the fence that we're telling you about. So that's where some of the other members of the Wild Earth team live, is in there. Isn't that nice? There's so many elephants that come through and pull down trees, almost breaking that fence. Not that that fence really keeps anything out, because we tend to leave the gate open all the time, so then the elephants and the hippos just walk on in. Remember that great story Brent loves to tell about the time that the hippo tried to get into the swimming pool and was walking on the deck, which was quite funny. So yes, trying to get the hippo out must have been very entertaining, especially under the cover of darkness. I wouldn't surprise me if a lion or a leopard hasn't poked its nose in there once or twice before. So we try and keep that gate closed, especially when Daryl the elephant is around. If Daryl the elephant, if you don't know who Daryl the elephant is, he's one of my favorite elephants, and there's lots of videos of him all over the social media. We even did a safari life story on Daryl. Anyways, let's go to Brent, who actually lives at this house, and ask him to rejoice the hippo story.
Well, I'm a bit sidetracked at the moment because I found some leopard tracks from during the day today coming into Djuma. There's also lion tracks. Those are a bit older. And someone has driven over them, but they definitely weren't around this morning. It's a male leopard. Could be Hassana. Could also be Tingana. Their footprints are quite similarly sized at the moment. But yes, I reside at Ingers, and I was there when the hippo wanted to climb into the swimming pool and went through the deck, and we were trying to shoo him. But you've got to be quite wary of shooing animals such as hippopotamus, because they can shoo you in half if you're not careful. But yes, we did manage to stop him getting into the pool, but unfortunately not stop him walking through the deck. Shame. That hippo is no more. He did not survive the drought. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Makedi. She said she had lots of serious alarm calls around Gwaripan, which is where we are, and she did see these tracks. These tracks are heading straight to Gwaripan at this very moment. They are for a male. So I wonder if little Hassana has come to cause nonsense here. Let me just double check. Now this is confusing now. There's lion tracks here, but the lion tracks look a little bit older. You can see the lions here. I'm just trying to find out where the leopard went. Boo! No, I'm just joking. I was trying to give you all a fright. I think I failed. VM, did I fail? Did you get a fright, VM? A little bit. Yes. Okay. Now, at this time of the day, tracks become quite difficult to see. So before I meander on, just going to try make 100% sure, here we go, where the leopard went. It looks like he might have gone this way. Let's double check. And so tracking it in this low light can be a little bit tricky. But it's also good just to be stationary at this time of the day, to stop. It could be moving, so might hear an alarm call. Let's do a loop around this block there. So we'll go down. Which way do we want to go? Let's go this way. Now, it's quite likely that whatever leopard this was, it might have stopped for a drink here and then headed off into the block. So I'm just going to have a quick look around the pan. While we do that, let's go see what Jamesy's plans are for the rest of the evening.
Well, Jamesy has just put his, well, Jamie didn't, but Fergus did, just put the infrared light on in preparation for the darkness. which is falling quite rapidly now as the clouds gather. We've come to round where Tandi we thought was yesterday so far, and I'm afraid that's all I can tell you right now. There is a Birchall starling. Where will it land? Oh, good. Film the Birchall starling there, Fergus. It's the one on top of the tree. Oh, some interesting colours behind it. Some blues and pinkish blues. Looks almost black. Got an itchy ear. And it'll be finding a roosting spot somewhere safe. Ideally, I mean, they nest in tree holes. A lot of birds don't spend any time in their nests other than for breeding. And I always think that if I lived in a tree hole as a bird, it's the first place I'd go at night. I wouldn't like to be out of my warm tree hole nest in the night time. But I suspect it'll just find a piece of thick bush to go and sit in. I did see a franklin scramble up. He didn't have any signal, I'm afraid. Scramble up into the top of a bush, where I think it will remain for the night. Out of harm's way. These pans also been very quiet of late. Not much going on with them. I think the heat, like I say, has come off the edge of the summer. And so not a great deal is very thirsty at the moment. But this would be the time that a leopard would come out and begin hunting, or a lion, or a hyena. Which I'm not trying the last little while. Oh, apparently you're losing signal. I'm sorry about that. Let's go across to Brent. I'll find some more signal.
Well, we've got those tracks now heading down Quarry Pan Road. Sorry about that. It seems like Jamesy's found the gremlins, a lot of them today. We all have, but we will persevere. Now, as I say, this light tracking becomes quite difficult, so I'm very much concentrating and staring at the road. Now, what we are hoping for is a little bit of luck with hopefully a kudu just spotting the leopard, starting to alarm call, also because it's another species on our list, how many mammal species we can get. So I quite often like to do this. I turn off the car and freewheel down the roads where it's possible, so I can use my ears more. During that sort of half-light time of the day when the spotlight isn't really that useful, just have a look for tracks. So difficult in this light. You don't know whether the light of the cars is better or not. One day I hope that we have electric cars. Imagine how amazing it'll be to drive around with it this quiet. You'll hear so much more. It sounds like Taylor has decided to have herself a solo fireside chat. Sans fire.
That's not true. I'm collecting the wood, Brent. Collecting. Here it is. Very nice. Get the fire started. Okay, hang on. Almost ready. It's going to be warm. As Rebecca says, I'm not a dragon. I cannot blow fire out of my mouth, so we will not be having a fire. Okay, now I'm awaiting my questions. Right, Fireside Chat Fast 5, everybody. I did also tweet. I did an illegal tweet while I was... I'm not live, because I'm still live. Oh, here we go. Right, Carol, first one's up. Have I ever seen porcupine here at Fireside Chat on the barbecue? No, never. However, I have seen them running around before. I haven't seen a porcupine for a long time. The last time I may have seen one was possibly in the Mara being chased by the Olololo lions. Next. I don't know why I'm bobbing my head. Gareth, trick question. Where is the best area to see sable? I'm lucky. The only time I have luck is when it comes to seeing sable. So I've actually seen them around Bergendal, I think that's how you say it. I have also seen them near Numbi Gate too. I would imagine the large populations of sable would be further up north in Kruger, maybe like past Satara, down that way. But I've actually seen lots and lots of sable down in the southern sectors of Kruger. I just cannot remember what this one lookout point, and it's not a lookout point, it's a little koppie, a little mountain thing of rocks. And I once saw a herd of maybe about 15 or 16 sable. It was really cool, and they were so relaxed and so close to the road. Okay, next. It was a trick question. You can see them anywhere. Now, equalizer, something I have not seen up here in the Sabi Sounds, as Rebecca has just said, it is an aardwolf. I couldn't see why you wouldn't get them up here. I don't know if Brent or James have maybe seen them. I don't actually know if their distribution moves up to this area, but I've seen aardwolf not too far away from here, about 4 hours drive, slightly further north. So I can't imagine why they wouldn't be here. Maybe predator density. Possibly. We'll get back to you on that. We'll ask James and Brent. They've worked in the Sabi Sand for a long time. Next. Oh, Caitlin, I better get comfortable for this one, seeing as though you're wondering where my dream holiday is. Please, no scorpions crawling out of the bark. That's more comfortable. My dream holiday, Caitlin. There's a heart in the sky. Can you see that? Sorry. Can you see the heart, Senzo? Or is it a Mickey Mouse? It's a heart. I'm going to go with a heart. I'm cloud watching for the rest of this afternoon. See? That's how much we all love each other. Even nature's telling us right now. That's amazing. Now I'm trying to think of where my dream holiday would be. I'd like to go to maybe Madagascar. Or the Galapagos would be quite cool. I'd like to see animals that have no fear of anything. So the Galapagos could be quite cool. Although I also want to go and see all the chameleon species in Madagascar. Or also Brazil. I'd like to travel everywhere. I don't have just one favorite place. I don't have a dream holiday. I want all the holidays are my dreams. Next. I can sit up now because I'm not talking about holidays anymore. Oh, yes. Saskia. Yes, there is definitely a risk of forest fires in the park. It's one of the reasons why we have to put in fire breaks. You often hear us talking about driving along on fire breaks. So basically we clear a section on the outskirts, typically on the boundaries of the property, and there'll be no vegetation whatsoever. So that if a fire does push in, it hits a section of about 3 or 4 meters, probably a bit wider than that, and hoping that the fire then will just die down. They do a lot of back burning here to try and get rid of all the excess moribund, so all the buildup of trees that elephants have pushed down, all the leaves, all these different types of things. We try and get rid of that. Lightning is a massive problem, and then of course people breaking glasses and bottles, leaving the glass behind, whether it's on purpose or not, probably not on purpose. People throwing cigarette butts out, that's on purpose. Please don't do that. That's how you're going to start a fire. And I can't tell you how many lodges have burnt down and lodges have almost been lost because of fighting fires. And we have to fight those fires, and it's not fun fighting fires. Remember, it's very remote out here, so normally it's people that are working at the lodges or part of the conservation teams that are, trying to put those fires out. It's very dangerous. Right, we're going to have to start going home soon, but we'll probably do one more segment when we get a bit closer to camp. But for now, I'm going to send you to James, and he's yielding a spotlight.
Yes. I do have my spotlight out. Ooh, there's a southern white-crowned shrike that has done what everything else has done today, Fergus. Oh, he's gone, yes. He's flown away, naturally. Anyway. I mean, it's all very well saying you shouldn't throw a cigarette butt out of the car. You shouldn't be smoking in the car, full stop. Well, you shouldn't be smoking. End of story. Russin, you want to know if I have ever had to fight a fire in the bush? Russin, I have fought many fires in the bush. I found it one of the most exhilarating activities I ever did. One of them I caused myself. I won't tell you that story. But another one, or many others, you know, have to get heavily involved, and all the lodges come together. And I think I have told the story before, but we had a big fire at Londolozi once. And I mean, you wait around August, September time, you watch the southern horizon to see what's coming. And this monstrous thing came out of the south. And so everyone, the alarm was raised, everyone got in and started lighting fire breaks. And I was coordinating the thing. Very inexperienced I was at the time. And these people arrived very kindly from a lodge that shall remain nameless. And they arrived with what looked like sort of Ghostbuster suits on. And one of my friends who was helping with fighting the fire, is now the general manager at Londolozi, he said to them, he has a sense of humour quite similar to mine. He said, "Is that so that you can serve hot chocolate to those of us who are actually fighting this fire?" Which they were very offended by. They had these sort of backpacks on with a pumping handle. And I don't know if you have it in sports events where you are, but in this country you can go to watch the cricket or the rugby, and these guys will come past with backpacks full of steaming hot chocolate or coffee or glühwein if you're very lucky, and they'll pump the thing and then fill your glass up. Anyway, that's what these guys were wearing. And no, they were very insulted. They had special fire sludge in the back, in their backpacks. The problem was that the fire sludge only sprayed about 2 feet from the front of the nozzle, which meant that in the face of a blazing inferno, they would have to have been ignited themselves before they managed to bring their fire gel, specialized fire gel, to bear on any kind of flame. So they were utterly useless, but we appreciated having them around. We got the fire out. In fact, the night time took the fire out. If you can keep a fire at bay until night, it really is much easier to fight a fire when the temperature drops, and often the wind drops in the night as well. A fire needs wind, temperature, and fuel. And if those three things combine, which they often do in September, and you can see that this grass is very long now, and I'll continue the story when we've gone over to Brent. I think he's got something in IR.
Well, we haven't given up on our mammal list yet, and we have a little grey duiker in infrared. So what is this? This is number 8, a female duiker. Monkeys were 7. Number 8 is a little female duiker. Isn't that beautiful? Now, much more relaxed than during the day, because normally they disappear at a rate of knots. And duiker are quite nocturnal in their feeding habits, so they tend to be a little bit more relaxed at night. You can see she's listening very intently. There, of course, could be a leopard close by, so it pays to be very attentive. And as she turned her head there, you saw some little glands on the side of her nose. Let's see if she does it again. There we go. And she'll scent mark with those. Hey, little one. Looks like she's going to sneak off, a little wagging tail, and carry on her nocturnal feeding. Now, we are in infrared, and that's why the picture is coming out in black and white. And well, we're going to leave the little duiker and keep moving and hopefully find a little leopard. So in the meantime, let us go. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Jamesy. Let's go back to James so he can finish his story.
Well, at least Brent had an animal to show you. That was much more important than my fire story. I think I was saying it was temperature, fuel, and wind. There we go. Those three things combined. Oh yes, now I know exactly how I was going to finish the story. And it is in September, October, it gets very hot after a rainy year like this. And you can see all around us relatively long grass. And this is going to be a fire hazard come August and September. The rains come. And so you'll find that we'll have to be quite careful about burning fire breaks in the winter. That's when we normally do it, sort of June, July. We'll burn fire breaks around the camp so that if a fire does come, the camps aren't threatened. But I would say, unlike last year and the year before, when there was no fire hazard because there was just no grass around, come the 2018 fire season of August and September and into October, we could have some real danger this year. Magic Dragon Wizard. You'd think with a name like that you would know all things. You want to know how scarce are animals after a fire? Depends on the animal, obviously. Animals don't stay away, but obviously if they're grazers, there's nothing for them to eat until the green flush comes, which is, if there's moisture in the soil, will be fairly soon afterwards. You know, a couple of days to a week or so, there will be a flush. There's a bird on the ground there, Fergus. And so you'll find that you'll have huge concentrations of grazers on burnt areas as soon as that first green flush happens. But until that happens, no, you won't find much at all. There is a forked-tailed drongo. Now, this has an interesting little memory for me. The first time I noticed that forked-tailed drongos like to sit on the road in the very, very last light of the day. I was living not too far from here, up in a place called Palaboa, and I used to go running in the evening. It wasn't actually in the town, which is quite possibly the most unattractive town in South Africa. I was in a rural area, and I used to go running around about this time, and I'd come back home in the last light, and there would be the drongos, all of them, all through the Mopani woodland on the road. And I still don't really know why it is that they do this. It must be for eating. What was that? Oh yes, I think it is hohos. They're looking for little bugs and insects to eat. But they will go and roost. I mean, they're not nocturnal, so it's only at this very last, or during the last embers of the day, that they will sit on an open patch like this and wait for things to come past. And it's only they that do it. A very interesting behaviour. We too are now in infrared, are we, Fergus? Yes. And that's why your picture is black and white, in case you were wondering. You can stop shaking your television or your smart TV. Yes. Or checking the date to check that it's not 1968. One of only 3 black birds that occur here. The other being the black flycatcher, and the last one being the black cuckoo-shrike. Leah, yes we have. We've had very nice birds today. You say we've had awesome birds. I agree, we've had a good time on the bird front. And that's quite unusual on a windy day like we've had today. But very pleasant. I wish he'd do something so I could try and figure out what he's... No, not like fly away. Like, show me what you're doing. Anyway, that was the fork-tailed drongo on the road. Let's continue. Alright, Brent Leo Smith, who loves the spotlight, probably far more than I do, would like to spot something with it for you now.
Well, I'm hoping so. I think James doesn't like the spotlight because it's like this. he's got to sort of try to see over the wheel and shine the spotlight with his arm up. Jamie also has to, whereas I can just sort of sit normally and carry on shining the spotlight. We're still hoping for a last-minute leopard. We're doing a block around, loop around the block. Oh, there we go. There's number 9, Vim. Scrub hare. So we've got to Vim's number 9. Now, Vim thought we were only going to see 9 different species, or they disappeared, the little scrubbies. Oh, no, there they are. Right next to... Oh, don't run away too far. Oh, he's disappeared behind the little bush. Okay. So that's 9 mammal species. Are we going to break to 10? The most elusive animal in Djuma. Who's that? Jane was asking. Probably pangolin. Or actually zorilla. I've definitely seen more pangolins in the Sabi sands than I've seen polecats. So I've only seen a polecat once. And that was coming when Tristan and Ali were still working at Sibambili. Jamie and I went for dinner with them there, and on our way back we saw a striped polecat in the road. Pangolin or polecat? What do you think, Vim? Oh, polecat, yeah. Caracal, I mean, they're all quite scarce and whatnot, but I think polecat is definitely something you don't see as often here. Oh, there we go, bush baby, Vim. Oh no, it's jumping too fast. Where'd he go? There, I can see the eyes. Just trying to find a gap through the trees. That would have been number 10, but we didn't get him on camera. So he doesn't count, does it, Vim? Oh dear. Maybe we'll get lucky with another bush baby. No, he's still there. I see him there, Vim. And you just see his eye. Oh, that terminalia is in a terrible spot. He's going up. He might pop his head out a little bit higher of him. Yeah. So there on that left hand sort of, there we go, somewhere in there. Where are you? Where are you, little bush baby? Oh, he's gone down. Oh, there's more than one. There's another one coming through. See that shut? There we go. There we go. You saw an eye. Oh, we saw a moving branch. There we go. He's out in the open, a little bit down. There, no, you got him. Right there. So center frame. There we go, bush baby! Yay! Hello, little guy. That's number 10. Oh, there's a couple of them. There's like 2 or 3 in that little weeping wattle. Oh, they're so sweet. Oh, see, there's another one just dropped off to the right. Getting ready for a busy night of hunting insects. They've just woken up as it's got dark. Off and into the thickets it goes. Bye-bye, little one. Thank you for making an appearance and getting us our 10th mammal species of the drive. Okay, yay! I'm trying. Now we need the leopard for 11. Rebecca wants 11 leopards. Jeez. Not demanding at all, Rebecca. I'll take 1 leopard rather than 11 at the moment. Now, we seem to be having quite a lot of luck with our spotlight. We found duiker and bush baby and scrub hare. Unfortunately, it seems like James is not having as much luck. Let's go find out what his plans are.
Yes, I've spotted some fruits in a tree. Beautiful. Large fruited bush willow. Ha! Look at that. Hey? Combretum zairi. Wow. Are you amazed, Fergus? So amazed. Beautiful. They look like chameleons. That's how I spotted them. Very good. Yeah, Leah Smith is definitely thrashing me on the mammal front. We did see a scrub hare. We didn't show it to you. We have had... Oh, we saw some steenbok as well. So even those that we didn't, even if we count the ones we haven't shown you, we still aren't even close. We've had impala and warthog, waterbuck. We did see a duiker that ran away, steenbok that ran away, bunny that ran away. That's 6. Leo Smith is on 4, on 10. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, right, okay. I get it now. Right, so this is the time of the night when I need to tell you and encourage you and beg with you and plead with you to please vote for us on the Webbies. If you don't know what the Webbies are, the Webbies apparently are the equivalent of the Oscars or Emmys, but for the web. And so you can vote for us on the Webbies. We've been nominated for 3 categories. Apparently some basset hound is beating us in one of those categories. I'm not sure what this basset hound achieves during the day to make him so successful in the Webbies, but he is beating us in one category. So please go along. All you do is go to our Facebook page. You'll find the post on the Webbies, and then you just click on Webbies, and then you vote for us. Please. And then we will become rich and famous. No, if you win the Webbies, maybe you win a computer or an iPod. No, you don't make iPods anymore. I don't know what happens. Anyway, it'd be very nice. It would be prestigious. Maybe we'll stick a sticker on our vehicle that says "We beat the Basset," or something like that. Victoria, you ask a very salient question. You say, why are there no headlights on the vehicle? The answer is that I turned them off. I'm not sure why I turned them off. I think there was something on the road. Anyway, they're back on now. Thank you. Thank you very much for pointing that out to me. I hadn't even noticed. I drove into a police roadblock once in the evening, because in Johannesburg they have set up roadblocks to stop drunk drivers. I was most pleased with myself because I hadn't had anything to drink and I was looking forward to blowing into a breathalyzer. And the chap said, "I'm writing you a ticket for 500 rand. And I said, "But I haven't drunk anything." He said, "No, but you didn't have your lights on." So I've been driving around in the darkness of Johannesburg without my lights on, which wasn't big. Anyway, I don't think I paid the fine. I did pay the fine, in case anyone from the traffic department's watching. I paid it immediately. Phew. It's close. Alright, let's go back across to Brent Leo Smith. He's had his lights on all night. Well, he has told us that he is a much better driver than me and everyone else, and so the evidence would show that he is.
What nonsense is James talking now? I just said I could see over the steering wheel more easily. Lots of scrub hares around, but we are trying to find some more species. Now, we just had that wonderful sighting of the bush baby. Hello, little scrub hare. Nope, sorry. I'll wait for them to find it. Whoa, look at that jump! He got a fright! You can see how incredibly agile they were. A bug flew into him and he just leapt straight up in the air. Silly thing. Now, Viv and I were just discussing, we think, we're trying to work out on average how many scrub hares get eaten a day. I think a lot. I'd say at least 1 per leopard per day as a good one on average. A wild dog pack probably 4 or 5 per day. And not forgetting everything else, the birds of prey, the owls. I reckon throughout the Sabi sands, I'd say close on more than 100 scrub hares get eaten a day. What do you think, Fim? And there's a lot. I mean, we've seen 7 or 8 already, and not in a long distance. Wow, it's got a split ear. I didn't even notice that. Turn around. Definitely has a split in its left ear. There we go. It probably escaped some bird of prey or something. Oh, stopping for a snack. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, off you go, little scrub here. Watch out for all the leopards. Now, we did see a bush baby a little bit earlier. No, Rowan, they are not related to koalas at all. Koalas are marsupials. We don't have any marsupials in Africa. So, no, they are not. They are small primates. They're related to slow lorises and, other Galego species. Now, you will notice that we do switch our lights off quite often, and that's to not blind certain animals and that. And so when we turn the lights off, they tend to move out of the road. Now, the bush babies have a very varied diet, Gizmo. So they are insectivores. They are also they also eat fruits, but mostly insects. They'll even eat certain flowers. But mostly the little bush babies are insectivores, and so they eat a very wide variety of nocturnal and insects. They have quite set territories, and they urinate on their hands and feet, and so as they move along their territory, they're able to scent mark on the go, so to speak, by using their hands as they go. So they constantly are scent marking. They live in little family groups, so you can, in a little hole, you can sometimes have up to 6 or 7 bush babies all cuddled up together. And there's a few spots. I actually haven't checked the bush baby nests for a while. And I'll do that tomorrow night, down in the west of Djuma. There's one that they used to frequent. Now, a lot of those little holes are used by quite a few different animals over a period. Birds, genets, bush babies, rock monitors will all utilize the same hole. And it just depends who's in residence at the moment. Now, one of the biggest predators of bush babies is actually rock monitors. And they'll try seek out the babies in those holes and eat them. Now, we had at our house in Hoedspruit, Jamie and I had a lovely family of there must have been about 6 of them, little bush babies, mom, dad, and all the little offspring. And they used to come out of the roof every evening. But then the big rock monitor was constantly trying to get at them. Now, strange enough, so we have tenants in our house at the moment, and they are not bush people. They do work for the military in the area. There's a big military base outside Hoedspruit. They're contractors. So a company's renting the house from us. And Jamie had just arrived in Kenya, and we got an email from our estate agent. It was quite a funny email because she was letting us know that the tenants were obviously not bush people because they had sent a complaint that there was a crocodile in the roof. Now, of course, it was just a very big rock monitor lizard. Now, he is a bit of a pain. I mean, just before I moved to Kenya, I thought I'd stopped his route into the roof. So Tristan was actually helping me out. We had got chainsaws and we climbed up the trees and cut down the branches. And Jamie shouting because we nearly broke one of the windows. So, and I was up sitting on a tree branch cutting it with a chainsaw, and then the branch started breaking while I was on it. That was quite scary. But yeah, so lots of different creatures utilize. Oh, what was that? Nah. These holes, and I'm hoping that was going to be a leopard around the pan, but no to such luck. No tracks. I'm hoping tomorrow morning when we've got a nice blank canvas of tracks from the night, we'll have a bit more luck. Oh, another scrub here. As I say, that's probably, if I start counting, that's probably number 20, no, probably not quite 20 yet, but at least number 15 that I've seen since we saw the first one just after dark. Now, remember, well, not only do we want to take you on explorations through the African bush in day and night, we also want to take you underwater, hopefully day and night as well. So remember to go check out our Dive Alive Kickstarter campaign and be one of the lucky people who can enjoy the private dives when we launch. Make sure you don't miss out and you are one of the first to enjoy that amazing experience of the oceans live. Now, I love the oceans, and well, I'll go visit the Dive Live camps, but I'm going to go visit them to go fishing. I'm not a big diver. I can dive, but I've always chosen to go fishing instead of diving. I do love my fishing. I want to go catch some big GTs this year. I think that's on the cards. Tristan and I are also talking about trying to plan a tiger fishing trip, because Tristan's never been tiger fishing, and it is one of my favorite types of fishing. And I used to be a fishing guide up on the Zambezi River, and I know that part of the world very well when it comes to catching the striped water dog. What is that, Vim? Is it too far? Let me just put that down like that. Inyala. Yep. Inyala. You can just see the horns. Darn it, I thought maybe there was a leopard walking down the Mawati. Wouldn't that have been wonderful? Now, there's an interesting one from the Lorax. Are hippos and whales related? Probably as much as whales and human beings are related in the fact that they're both mammals. I'm just trying to think. Not that I know of. Of course, everything's related if you go far enough back, but I don't think there is a close relation between hippo and whales. Oops, sorry, Vim, I hit that a bit fast. Let me change gear. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to 11 species, and I've only got 7 minutes. And I'm hoping that those wildebeest are still on quarantine to get to us one more species. And of course, the more ground we cover, the more chance we have to have species. We haven't given up on the leopard front yet. We still sort of are on the peripheries of where that leopard might have got to. And one of the reasons I like night drive so much and my spotlight so much is that yes, sometimes they are very, very quiet, the night drives, and you don't see much, and you just see me flashing about my spotlight. But you've got a chance to see some really interesting little mammals, and particularly little carnivorous mammals. And about 75 of your more interesting mammal species only come out at night. And I'm talking about your little things like genets, honey badgers, aardvark, pangolin. What else am I missing there? Caracal, serval. Sorry? Gerbils, bushveld gerbils. Actually, I know where there's the bushveld gerbil nest or hole. So maybe we might even catch a bushveld gerbil before the end of safari. I'm gonna head there. It's on the way to quarantine. Now let's go see what James enjoys about the African night.
I enjoy the silence of the African night. Well, it's not that silent, but it's a difference of sound. It's just a very peaceful sound, unless, of course, you happen to have a lion savaging a buffalo outside your room, in which case it isn't a very peaceful sound at all. But I like the sounds of the night and their sort of quiet peace, contemplative peace. And if we do get lucky and find interesting things out here at night time, it really is great. Bush babies, for example. There's a chameleon. Is it? Yes, it is. Or chameleons, for example. Hurrah! Can you believe it, Fergus? There we go. I've spotted 7,000 chameleons today. All of them turned out to be the fruit of the large fruited bush willow. But there we have an actual flap-necked chameleon, just near home. And I guess as the winter continues, so they will retreat further and further into the middle of the bushes, where they will estivate and wait for warmer times. You do still see them in winter, but not obviously as commonly as you do in summer. Somebody told me once that the chameleons hanging out on the edges of the branches are the females, and the males hang out in the middle. They couldn't tell me why that was the case, and so I dismissed it with the contempt I believe it deserves. Anyway, there we go. Nice little flap-neck chameleon. That one's about 3 inches long. Very good. Very good. The other thing I like about the night, of course, is the stars. I find the stars deeply fascinating, and, well, it's great to give a sort of perspective of our insignificance in the universe. When you consider the distances, sizes, numbers, it really is quite astonishing when you stare up at the Milky Way, which is billions of stars, knowing that those billions of stars form a galaxy that is just one of many billions of other galaxies, which is really just quite astonishing. Those are numbers that we can't honestly contemplate. Anybody who says they understand what a billion looks like, I don't think has any clue. And a billion, well, that's just ridiculous. It's a fact. Right, we're going across the dam wall, slowly making our way towards home. Maybe there will be something having a drink, a late evening tipple. Emil, you want to know if all mammals see shadows, is that correct? No, Emil, vampires don't see shadows, and they're mammals. They are unable to see shadows. But other than vampires, I'm pretty sure that all mammals would be able to see shadows, yes. I can't see a reason why they wouldn't. Any animal that is able to distinguish light from dark will be able to see a shadow. A shadow is, after all, just a blocking of the light. So I'm going to say yes, all mammals can see shadows. Alright, let's go across to Brent Leo, mammal hunter. He is on the trail of number 11, approaching quarantine.
We've got, it looks actually like a shrew rather than a gerbil. Oh, what do you think? Forward a bit, Liam. It actually looks more like a little shrew. Oh, there he goes. Well, we don't, oh, he's behind the pole to Murphy's Law. He's trying to sneak away from us, a tiny little shrew. He's going to pop out there in that little, there. Is it a shrew? I can't see. No, it's not a shrew. It is a little gerbil. It's just a juvenile gerbil. Oh, there we go. That's 11. Number 11. So we got there, and we didn't have to do it with the wildebeest, unfortunately. Sorry, wildebeest. We didn't get to the wildebeest. But thanks, everyone, for joining us. It has been a bit quiet, but hopefully tomorrow we're going to be able to bring out the big cats in force. I've had a thoroughly good time on Drive with you, and I'm sure James and Taylor have as well. Can't wait to do it all again tomorrow morning. So from all of us, it's Fari Live. Toodaloo, bye, bon nuit, ciao, and all the rest.